This is the last class, yeah?
Hello, good morning. Welcome back to our CSCI 452 malware analysis and reverse engineering. For today we will finish the rest of the three files. So we will go through all these three files and then just like um look at all this what is the special like some features of this like the files, like how special are they? Okay. We will open the first one and let's start. We'll open the lab. So if you remember, like in our um Tuesday, so we will look at some like Word files, Excel files. Okay, so we remember. So also the shell. Okay, and then for today we start with one is C# malware. So this one is the DMZ files. Malware. But for related, then we will look at what's the DLL file. Okay, so what's the those like this one, open the text here. So it's just telling you like we want to pretty interested about the DL files in the program files. Okay, so on the endpoint. So actually it hidden with one of the property like program. So it like giving the company like use it on the payment process department like this. Okay, so they have a method attribute, so look the way off. So it's the idea. So it try to create a timestamp. So it looks like it's like two reasons like compared to the program was installed. So it it just like giving seems like unlike it, but so we suspect maybe like the malware. So it's the idea. If you look at all the malware. So most of the time they will try to create another DLL file, okay, because they will access to the internet and then try to, after they open the internet, they will access to certain URL, and also like locally they will create another DLL file, okay. And then that's how we start for today. And for this one, always say we will start with the step one. So we will look at they are like MD5, okay, SS1, SS256, they is actually like 512 like this. Okay, so we always say try to keep the make the screenshot of this way. So let's because like we can use a the string or false to output all these like basic static content, and I just say do it quickly. So I was still using the cutter, if you remember cutter. So it can give me some like basic information right here, so I will use it. Okay. Okay, so start with the entry point. So it's just like giving you what's the some basic information and then what the hash of it. Okay, so it's pretty enough. So maybe you can use the as well say you can use the strings or using the force to output all these basic information, but also you can use some application to open it. So just depends on you. And I just like open the string directly. Okay, and right here we have something maybe pretty interesting, or when we're looking for something, what are those like juicy content like for this malware or like when the DLL create. Okay, but because we have hints right here. Okay. When we start to talk, so when we talk about the DLL, you know, so this library contain all the codes and data, so they can be used that like more than one program at a time, so they can share. Especially for Windows, OS, like always we will have different type like DLL, like the COM-DLG 32. Okay, so they will perform some like dialog box with the function, and then each of the program they can use all this like functionality. So it's like contained in this like DLL. So input on the open dialog box. So here's the idea. So then we'll move on. So start in the beginning. When you see the like assembly description, like attributes, so when you open the using the cutter, because I'm using a cutter right here. Okay. Okay. And when we open, so we do pretty interested about some files right here. So they will right now, maybe when you put it sensitive right now, you when you look at some URL directory like folders, and you will know, okay, so that's what they're going to create the files right here. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, so when we look at all these steps, when we want to analyze, then there are lots of things maybe we are pretty interested. There's some like called the set key size, get key size. They're using the AES encryption. Okay, so the password. Okay, they try to decrypt it. Okay, so all this they try to work on the registry key. Okay, and then the base 64 string they so they call it the net frame 4.7.2, or some like get the environment variable, all this, right? So when we try to output this, put it another one, so using the force. So even you using the force and then input the files, okay, so it output the same, probably like all this content right here. And let me go down quickly right here. Okay, so here pretty similar content we can see. So embedded VBS, so we try to create the VBS, and then which is if they have something of those types, so they will try to add the files. Okay, software Microsoft Windows like current version run embed. So all these like will be under the virtual file. Okay, and just like go down a little bit more, embed DLL. So this is a DLL file, all this content. We may be like I'm pretty interested about this, like especially for the like embedded like and then all the files like .xml. So here's we will draw our main attention, like what is the embedded will do. Okay, and then maybe right here, so it will giving some a weird string, then it may probably is a password. So we may look at it. Okay, so we get more, and also there's a like a base 64 encode string. So right here is a content, and also it's a VB like script. if you remember, because we saw something like VB script. So it's a msb.exe we use right here to load and execute the contents in the public file. So they create the um, embed.xml file. So once the DLL executes, so it going to like perform certain actions. Okay, one is like they try to draw off the embed.vbs, and then next the XML files, and also we try to touch the budget entries, the files. Okay, so when they try to embed it, so there may be some like variables and environment variable that holding a particular location of like this file or comment. And if we try to find a function, it's the AS like encrypt and decrypt. So when we look at these two, then we can grab some like particular words. So we maybe have some AES encrypt string right here. So of course you can follow the steps like first to grab it. Okay, AES, and they will output all this content. And we can use the JetBrains one like right here to export it. Okay, so when we open it, so we can decompile the DL file. So in some we can use the topic so right here, but also we can use others application. So just feel free to search like if you have it or not. Okay, so when we load it, then it just like giving you the name. So it's called embed DLL. Okay, so embed DLL, and then it will give you some of the strings, and then with some reference data like modules, type reference, like type field right here, method, okay, parameter, all this content. And this like program class includes like some actual codes, and then we can observe like, as well we say. So it's going to like calculate the password which we found, and the first like base 64 encode data. So it's going to be like decrypted and then return the file to the name to embed the XML. So that's what it creates. So when we see right here, I switch like the files. So it try to create the files XML and also the BBS. This is what we found, and then the BBS right here, and also the registry file to save it. So this is what they're doing. And this so actually you see the content like when they like draws our attention, they were like duplicate or repeating appears on different application when we try to look at for more clues, and then or like looking for more details like where they link or they work together. Okay, so just means go down a little bit more because they are the screenshot of all this content. Okay, and then later the last part will be right here, just like to open the virtual key. So if after we execute it, okay, then maybe we can open the budget ID, so we can find the under the software Microsoft Windows current user run. Then maybe we will find the embed this files. Okay, and of course like we can using some dynamic analysis. So we're going to run it. So for this one we can there's a program that run DL32, so it's available on the Windows. Okay, and let me show you on the screen. Another one. Okay. So we got this one already provided by the Microsoft, so we can use it to run the DL name, so we can try to execute it. Okay, but this one before execute it, just like remind you always I said that disable your antivirus the defender, also make sure the internet connection so it's disconnected. Okay, then we can execute the file. Okay. the command line is right here, so you can just like using the run32 DLL and then pass the files. Okay, so this one we remember to remove the extension. Okay, and then we can execute it. So after we execute it, and we can because we already know the function is embed, so we can just provide in the argument like embed. So once they open up, they will tell you, okay, so what is the under, so for export, they tell you the embed VBS and so embed XML, and what's the just the file editor. If you will, also we have the fake net, there's a fake network connection. So all this we can have all this file and registry entry. So okay, so we can see all these things, and it just gives you some screenshot. Okay, so when you try to open it, and after we execute, so of course they will create the embed VBS and the XML right here, and also if you go to the current user, okay, right here Microsoft Windows like current version 1 and back, so it should create another registry file. Okay, so right here, and also we can see the embed VBS. Okay, execute, and more details goes down. And here is the decode the payload. So after the we open execute as PS script, so you can see try to create the script, get a new object. Okay, you will see something pretty familiar, and also because we try to decode from the code base like 64. Okay, so we'll be encoding like this one. Then we can see like when they call the variable, so you can see the all the contents and then the output. So it's really long. So just like we will focus on something more important. In the beginning, when you see like it's like running on the DOS mode, okay. And also we are pretty interested looking for the URL and back in the code. Okay. So all they giving here is like access to this the URL. So it's the C2 server, if you remember the C2 server, and then there's a domain, and then it contains some like base64 encode string too. Okay, so all this like if you change it to something like text HTML docs HTML and index HTML, actually when you will content all this content, and then it giving some for the content is the Mozilla. Okay, it's the 5.0 right here. And when we go down, so all this will be like encrypted content, so we put that lot. So let's go down, and it giving hello is the hello world content right here. Okay, so when we try to execute the VBS, so maybe also we can use the call the fake net. Okay, so to lock it and then try to kill the domain, so what we found in the payload. They'll try to receive it, what's the content, so it's the in right here. And because we will do the dynamic analysis to observe this part, so if you're doing and following, okay, then you can do it with me together. Okay, go check. So because this one is the restored version to, okay, snapshot is off. Okay, and the internet version. Okay, so I'll change the file format. Okay, so let me go back to the one. So we will want to see the 1D. Let's go back to the files. Okay, so start with the beginning. We can simply use the command of 132 DLL. 132 DLL, and then we will pass the files. Okay. But this one, it doesn't exist right here. Okay, so if you miss it, then better to install it. But when I don't have the network connection, so you just need to install it later or go back to the version. I go back to the one is clear copy, and then we can try to download it right here. But suppose that we should have it in this Windows. Okay, so you can try if you can get this one to using the 1DLL 32 and then execute and see. But I'm lucky because we already have some like sample output, so you maybe follow this one and then, or like if you can use the one the 1DL32, and then you can pass the parameter so the embed. Okay, so like this, so you can pass it to show it. And after we execute, okay, so because right now we mainly need to run the DL file, and after we able to execute it, then we can find the on the directory right here. Let me open it with the we miss it, so let's try to do it one more time because it's not recognized. Okay, so this time is okay. Then let's see. So if you able to execute it, then you will see the embedded XML. So let's say open it. So right here, this is giving a task. I will say create a task, and then the embed like VBS. So you will find the embed VBS. And we are also curious about the widgets file. Go back to the source output. Let me go to the software Microsoft current version. Okay, so right here, so if you go to the matrix file, so we already create the embed one, so it will embed the VBS. So that's like what's going to do. Okay. If you already execute and you see all this file, then you can follow the rest of steps and to actually to try to update all this content. So this one will be our first file. So it's like telling how the DLL files. Okay, try to execute. So compare with the execute file, then we need to use the 132 DLL. So it's the another comes with the Windows. And because we sometimes we need to look at what's the file name, so you need to pass it, then we can execute it, okay, successfully. And after we execute it, then you will able to obtain all these file they create. Okay, so they try to like the string arguments right here, and try to run the ms build exe, and then try to use the embed the XML file. So this is the XML file. So they like we want to, and this one when you see that from the screenshot, so it's along with the content of this one after they create it, and then it will try to pass it. Okay, entry point right here, and let me switch to cutter. Because they we are looking like pretty interested about the one is that they try to encrypt and decrypt it. Okay, so the password byte right here, and we see some strings like pretty interesting. Okay, so we are like so maybe here's the password. Okay, and all the directories already match, and then we got to find it. Okay, so they may be using the some exception flow. Okay, and we given a name is the embed like DLL, so we already know the name. So maybe right here the other contained it, and of course that you can open the assembler to look at the more like details of how it looks like. Okay, but we are mainly like curious because like for the string output. Okay, that's like what we want to see, and if you're able to do this step, then it's like we are kind of like complete this part, so the file, then we can move on to another one. It's the go malware. So let's move on to another one. Let me restore back from the copy. I have, okay. Okay. So there's another file. So let's that. So after you unzip the file and extract it, so you will see the file is named the battle. Okay, so the best battle as we update like exe. So as the basic, so we always use a really useful tool and then use the cutter, okay, to look at some basic string output. When it's loading, it takes some time, then we can just go back. So right here is the binary. So it's just like about some how to like understand and then train. I look into some clue. Okay, how can we like distinguish some like programs language in the malware they already has been written. Okay, so in the beginning, if we using the string or false to output it, and it will like loads of lots of result it comes out. So just make sure and we just go to find something called the Golang domain in the string. So Golang dot org, and then all this with the content related. Of course, like we can search for the main function case, say the main. Okay, so look at it, and also some like the SYM tab. Okay, so system tab. So this one we go to like build the ID, also find in the Go binary. So when you open the files, okay, express for the step one, always we look at the hash, right? So compare. So I quickly just jump into the step. So let's go to the string output. Okay, so it's the same like we always say that this one cannot run in the decimal and then show the Go build ID. Okay, so right here and some text right here. So when we use the string output, we can already see all this content. Okay, and of course we are more like for when you try to output, grab the domain or this right this part belongs to it, and we want to know find something like we have to like grab from the HTTP. Okay, so we can find it like you can search it right here or using like filter or grab it. But this time I just using the GUI the cutter right here. So I just like scroll down. Okay, for the later see. When we try to get the content like related to the HTTP, and let's see some content right here. And we mainly research like if we are able to grab it. So suppose like this should be the one connect to there's a URL and then access to the favorite account. Okay, so this one like from our previous exercise, you remember like it's just like for testing. You will see why it always have a URL connect to the favorite account, and then after it actually they're able to access to it like have an internet connection and then access it can download like for the rest of the content create more like they were using the connecting to the C2 server and then just receive all the contents. So it's like able to do it in this way. And of course, like when we execute, we need to set up the internet connection and then using the browser to observe on what the files they're going to create. Okay, so I just like quickly go through the details. There's some screenshot I already gave you some hints, and here's some like key points that we need to check, right? What's the embedded URL, and then maybe what's they're using which user agent. So they're using Go HTTP client, and then they try to use the G request. Okay, and also the the sample. Okay, so right here you can see the portable executable. So they will have SYMDAB. So this will have a session right here, and then there's some series identifier import hash. And also they will have some Google's like Go pack like repository right here. Also refer to the Go like PKG right here. Also they try to match the rules. Okay, so we can try to find something like maybe there's something related to GitHub Golang exe. So we try to find right here, see something like related to like Go org right here. Net HTTP and have a policy pack and then configure.exe. Then let's go down and then try to search more. And this one is like using the GitHub repo, they find a service. Okay, when we open, so we will see this like server this service can use like install and start and stop a program as a service like on the daemons over right here, and it can support a Windows XP or the for the more latest version. And let's go back to the let's go back to here and then try to looking for some more HTTP content. Therefore, this one is mainly using the language, like it's the Go language. Okay, so you can see right here, and the main purpose like try to connect to the URL. Okay, so to get some requests. So let's try to scan more about all this like content. So all this like also connect to the Go HTTP. Just like quickly scan all this content, go down. Okay, so since you will see a lot is related, and then maybe you need to spend some time to find what DLG main right here. Okay, double click, and really we want to look at some kind of December right here, and maybe access to the GitHub. Okay, so you see the surface, right? The content surface new right here. Okay, and then the config. Okay, that's like what we matched like already based on the hints. Okay, and then the compiler. Let me see the graph map. Okay, so let's go back. That's like what we more like interested about. So will be the right here. The go one time new objects, and then you're going to like one time and like have a writer right here, writer. Create more. And let's go down. The energy. Too small. Okay. For the rest, it's just like we see adding all the script and then one shot. Okay, so just like quickly ignore all these parts. So just like go down. Maybe using the graph mode will be easier for us to read it. So mainly it's like it able to detect and then it go to execute and then will jump by the different condition. So right here, this part, and after you almost like complete, so it will finish and then return it. Okay, and end the execution. Okay, so after you're able to open this one, so we can try to execute it. So but for the rest, actually pretty like straightforward, but we need to set up the ID INSIM and then set the connection and open the browser to observe it. Okay, but for this one, we can go back and then show you one later. Okay, good. Okay, better. And if you're okay, then we can move on to the third file. So after like we cover the third file, then we can come back to the execution doing the dynamic analysis. So I hold this part and let's come back to the last file we want to see. Okay, for the last file is like related to the mobile malware. Okay, so for this one, let's open it. Okay, because I have not yet executed, so I just keep the file right here and let's open the lab. Okay, and let me use the cutter. Okay. This one is giving your files are related to the mobile malware, and especially on the APK file that on the Android platform. So what we're going to analyze is it's telling it will be the APK so the APK files like they're basically just like zip all the files. So they combine. So we need to change their extension from APK to zip. Then actually we are able to unzip the whole files. Once you open it, they will have some like signature files and class resources like manifest. If you have some experience like using the maybe some application, the Android Studio, like to build the Android file, the application that actually they do have a pretty similar structure. And after you complete like building your the project, and then you can use it to build the file, to build the APK. Okay, and there's a application. Okay, JDX GI. So it's a GUI. So it can help to decompile the code automatically and give it some like class and files right here. And this one you can is using the packet file using the methods, but actually it's there for testing. So if you search this one methods, but actually it's under the lab. So also you can download it, but when you download, just be careful because the Chrome browser, they would like detect like some like infected virus or somehow, so you need to enable it and then to download it. Just letting you know, this one is like is a pretty popular, famous like for testing, and you're welcome to download it. Okay, to check. So for us like to like for to scan the files, looking for what the vulnerabilities. Okay, it can help to penetrate doing testing of these things. So we can use it. Let's go back. But before we do that, just like giving you some like basic information. So including the let's say right here, the SDK information is related to here. So we have a version and then SDK version right here, minimum, and then get it. Okay. And also maybe we will want to know like what kind of features they're using, especially on the hardware side. So it may go into the access the camera. Okay. So they will access to the autofocus and then a microphone. So if your APK like you download on the Android phone, you execute it. Okay, so that means like this malware is going to access to the hardware, including the camera, the autofocus of the camera, and then try to listen to what you're speaking. So you access the microphone. Also, for another one, say apart from the hardware, and that one's the permission. Like so, maybe they which like the application they shouldn't have. So we can check what kind of permission they want to access. First one is the internet, and then to the Wi-Fi stage. Okay, so Wi-Fi stage, and also the network stage. Okay, and then what's the course location, find location detail, and then with the phone stage right here, and then also try to access the permission like send SMS. So all this may be there, you thinking like why they need to access all this content. Also, they try to allow like receive SMS, record audio. Okay, they want to read your content. Okay, read, write. Okay, so right here they record your audio, and they want to try to get the permission like write setting. Okay, so we can more right here the boot compete with receive it, and then they will change your wallpaper. So when you look at some APK, they are try to access more like of course for some hardware or like maybe the application on your phone, they may request to use your camera or use your microphone, but depends on the type. Okay, so when you download it, you're thinking, okay, this application suppose it's not necessary to use those like hardware, then pretty weird. And I would say for the malware using, they always want to listen to what you are speaking, right? They also want to access to their camera to capture okay all the content. Okay, so all this will be their purpose, or sometimes they want to access what your contact list. Okay, they can use it to make a phone call, or like when you see they try to access to the SMS. Okay, so that means that okay, maybe they will able to read all your content, and then they can send all the message to your like the people in your contacts. Okay, so they can later just like depends on what kind of message they would like to send. Okay, maybe some like scam message, or some we direct them to the link. Okay, so wherever. So for the content, it doesn't matter, but once they able to hack into your system, then they can read all this. And we can scan the Android with using a mob SF. So as I already open, switch back. Okay, so this one is the on the live file. So it's the mob live, or you can get it from the Git. Okay, so you can install it, and you can. They also have like the Docker version, so you can install it, or if you open it, so you can like upload the file and scan the this file. Okay, and before I execute, I can turn it. Okay, before I do it, then I will try to make sure all the content they are make sure this version is saved, and we switch back to online. Well, I'm not yet, because I always stay offline. This one, then I need to, if I need to use it, then just to make sure you have a clear copy, then you can upload it. Okay, so either way is fine. So you can download the Git. Of course, like when you need to install the Git, then you need to have a internet access, or you can upload it to this platform. So either way is fine. Okay, as I go down before we, but when we open, okay, because when we open the Android APK file, so even for string, so we cannot obtain that many information. So it will be much more helpful. We need to use the tool we mentioned right here, and it's like random right here, generate. Okay, the mobs. So in this one, pretty simple. Just when we look at the screenshot. Okay, so they have a called the L host. Okay, so they may be like not yet defined. Okay, something will be is null. Okay, so we generate, and then go below. So we setting the port. Okay, we see the L port will be like 4444. Okay, so you're interested. So it will giving some like low information related to the code. Okay, for this application you're going to make. So when we look at the screenshot right here, so it connect to some like SKUT. Okay, some standard API system processor executes. Okay, and then there's some engine check root. Okay, shell. Okay, payload Java. So all these content, maybe they have like access like audio mode. Okay, for some like cell information collection or more information. So it's going to like execute. Of course, like we can refer to some like Android document to see like what they actually access, and we can give me the system of the system service right here, Wi-Fi collector, okay, webcam, audio, okay, and then the WLAN right here, and then wick log, okay, cell collector. So all these like content, so we can try to find. Okay, and then let's go back to the file. Because when we look at the string output, we don't have to really look into details because it's an APK file. So even we open it, so we mainly can see some like basic like hash information. For the rest, actually really hard to find it. So we need to use another application, what I mentioned, to scan the file. And for this one, let me discard it. Remove the extension. Credit. Okay. So if you compare, you can use the really like easy step, like first like compare with the screenshot we did like right here. So you just like unzip the files. Okay, and of course we cannot read more details from this unzip file, so we need to use other application to open it. And let's the file. Okay, so I think let me see. allow. It cannot be really well, but we can still read some certain content, like if you see like what's the SDK version, what's target SDK version right here. Okay. Of course, like right now all this tooth is not specific for the APK files. Okay, so we cannot read it. So we need to install it. So once you have an internet connection, because I need to make sure this copy is clean enough, then I will access, I turn back to the connect to the connect to the internet, and then I can submit it. Okay, to scan it. So before I do that, just make sure all the contents, as well as say for the rest of the time, then I will try to do have some dynamic analysis to have the connection. So I will open the here. Okay. Okay, so I will unzip the file. And if you still remember like what the program we're using, we have the you can go to the tool right here. Of course, we can use the debugger like to running the instruction line by line, or sometimes we can use the postmon, okay, to look at it, and also just like later we can use the APK tool like to read it, but later you can use it later. And then we mainly will be looking for the postmon. Try to add the filter, looking for the process content. Okay, because we already know the name, so we can put the name right here. Okay, we can add it. Okay, and okay. For this one, we will just like try to execute it before we say open the INET. Again, we can open it, execute, and let's go back to the. Okay, maybe I can just use the. But this one is like mainly connect to the Connect org. So when you try to execute it, actually you cannot observe anything. Then we need to use the iShard. Okay. We do internet connection. Capture one more time. Some focus. Okay. But right now, of course, we don't have any like connection. Okay, so we cannot see some like what's the actual behavior there. Okay, so each other doing the focus and then telling if you know the we say the ARP. Okay, so sometimes the ARP we try to like send a podcast and knowing what's the IP address, and mainly what's the man in the middle try to perform, right? So then let's stop in this moment. Okay, and then let's open the INET scene. Open the window. And I just want to make sure the surface is okay then. So I'm going to restart one more time. Let's do it one more time right here. And I want to see, okay, so we can also use the pause mode, okay, to observe. Of course, like one thing, if you remember, it right here, so it's the running, so all those are runtime broker exe. So actually, they already execute because they already run it. Okay, and but for the internet connection, so let's like restart one more time. So continue without saving, and let's execute it one more time. So they have a one DLL on 32 exe, so they already execute right here. And let's like pause it. Okay. So we can observe like what's the speed control protocol respond. Okay, let's see. We can search it and when how we connect to the our free request. And let's see if we are able to obtain it because like the network, because like we are not yet open. So we are mainly pretty interested about like after we execute it. So it's like try to connect to the goal right here. So using the looking for the favorite console, that's what we want to search. So we can looking for the favorite con right here. PPP, and then that's what we want to know. So we can like search it one by one and try to find the one we like to know. Right now I cannot see actually. Maybe I need to, maybe I will try to restart to run it one more time. Okay, and to see if it try to perform. But you will see the application right now is executing. So when we try to look at the files. Sometimes it's just like running on the VS host, and that's what this like files as I try to doing is I create a backdoor. So it's like receiving the C2 server and then try to read the content. So this is the purpose, but we need to grab this information. So hopefully we can able to find it. And if you can see, you can like try one more time and then set up the network connection. And let's see if you can obtain this content. Okay. Close it. And if you're doing and following, then you can also do the same. And let's see if you can obtain the package and then see what's the content. But of course, like, it will fail because like we are not really actually connect to the internet, so it won't able to download the content like from the program, but we can observe it. Okay, but if you need to observe at least you need to set up the INET SIM, so to create the network connection, so we can like perform something. But we are only seeing some like for failed connection is like, okay, they try to obtain the content, so that's what we wish to find. Okay, and let me search where is it, and if no, then we can restore from the copy and try to exit one more time. And I would like to show you one more. For the how they close it. Let me open the one for the Android. Okay, so for the Android, because we need to use the like JADX. Okay, so we need to load it. And for later, if you have a clean copy. Okay, for the camera. So if you have a cleaner copy, then you can try to download it from the Git. Okay, but right now for this copy, I don't have it, and also I have the execute file, so I have to restore it. So stop, and then let me roll back to the screenshot copy. Okay, we'll save. Let's see. So hopefully this connection is clear. Okay. So once you have a clear copy, then remember it is really safe environment. Then you can connect to the internet and then you can download all these files. So it's like pretty straightforward. So you can either like download from the GitHub and also like download the some it's not really stable build file, so you can download it. So either way is fine, but just I recommend you can like download it from the GitHub release and you can download the file. So it's a zip files. Okay, and then you can install it. After installation, you will see the GUI right here. Okay, let's go down GUI, and it's more helpful. It can help us there to open the files and with like a structure, and then you can open it. Otherwise, we use other tools. Let's say no matter the cutter or like when I pass it to the like notepad, any like text editor, so you cannot read all this content because they are for this like the APK file, so they are specially like unpacked. Okay, so so we need to like doing the reverse engineering. Then we need to like unpack it. Okay, use the tool. If you are more interested about some like Android APK, how can you unpack it and modify the content, so you can study more on this part. And so far, I think it's almost the time for everything. So I try not to like go more further. Okay, so far that's it for our like for all our labs, and then covering for our content. Just like giving you a reminder. So we have the last file will be your assignment. Last lab is the WannaCry. So try not be being infected like to your other host, and then remember. So when you test it and looking for some any details, and make sure you have isolated environment, okay, and a protected environment, and then you can execute the last file. Here's the WannaCry, so the files. So you can unzip it, and there's some questions if you see the question, and more is that you making a screenshot and then give some observation like what did you find, okay, or the setup, because I understood maybe for some student they have some issue on the VM and then you maybe like have to rebuild it, okay, so I understood. So try your best to do it, and for some connection, even to me it happened to me too, especially when we are running maybe in the latest system like Windows system, or like maybe the VM, also the VM itself, because maybe I'm using the Apple M4, so for some feature functions they're not well supplied, but try your best. So that's why for some question and it given some answer, but more important is that do you try to follow the steps and looking for some hints like what kind of observation you have. So it's more important, and also try to like execute. Okay, so after you really save it. Okay, so just like all the steps you will need to do, including like doing the basic static analysis, and then how can we start our the dynamic analysis, and later for more like advanced. So if you remember, like we execute the debugger. Okay, so you can use all the tools like we have, because this one is the executable files. So compared with the one we using, the let's say the APK for the malware, we are not using the all these tools, and it may not using the DLL, so we were not really like necessary to check the DLL file. And then for the rest of like some skills or like some tools we used before, then you can feel free to use it. And you'll not really say I have to install the string, because even you see like when I went through all these files, I just use Cutter, because Cutter can already output all the content. Okay, so you can use the even give me the screenshot, but at least like you show me you know how to use all these tools. Okay, and what kind of content did you observe? Police. Okay, so I will restore the version from the here, so I forgot disable the protection. Okay, so into it. So just like last reminder, so that's it will be our like this course, and just maybe preparing your time to work on the last assignment, and also we will have the online final exam. Okay, so mainly will be pretty similar format. Is your question just like ask you maybe some tools or this like basic concept that we went through before, and that's it for this course. And if you have no other question, then we will end our session right here. Have a good one. So, if no other question, then I'll finish right here.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye.